video, don't forget to smash the like button and share this video with as many people as you can. And if you are not subscribed to my channel yet, do it and press that notification bell too so that you don't miss any of my videos. So without any delay, let's get started. And today we are going to do JavaScript. And in JavaScript, we are going to do versions. And in versions, we are going to do the version ES6 or ECMScript 2015. So this is going to be an interesting video, an exciting video, and without any delay, let's get started. Dab! So I'll go to Google Chrome and I'll go to W3 Schools. I'm going to, sorry so much. I'm going to do Learn JavaScript, and in that we are going to do 2015. Okay, so ECMScript 2015 or ES6. ECMScript 6 was the second major revision to JavaScript. ECMScript 6 is also known as ES6 and ECMScript 2015. This chapter describes the most important features of ES6. New features in ES6: the let keyword, the constant keyword, JavaScript arrow functions, for of, JavaScript classes, JavaScript promises, JavaScript symbol, JavaScript default parameters, function rest parameter, array.find and array.findIndex, new number properties, new number methods, new global methods, and JavaScript modules. All these features were introduced in ES6. So let's look at these. Browser support for ES6, ECMScript 2015. Safari 10 and Edge 14 were the first browsers to fully support ES6. So Edge 14 fully supported ES6 in August 2016. Safari 10 fully supported it in July 2016. Opera was the last to fully support it, like it supported it in August 2018, and that is 3 years after its release. Okay, Firefox 56 supported it in March 2017, and Chrome fully supported it in January 2017 in the version 58. So now, JavaScript let. The let keyword allows you to declare a variable with block scope. So like here we have variable x is equal to 10, here x is 10, let x is equal to 2 in a block. So in this block x is 2, but outside this block x is 10. So this is block scope, right? So if I do the same thing also over here, sorry. So basically I have window, like I'm used to Windows and this is a Mac, so I just did Control C instead of Command C. So sorry. Yeah, so let's leave that. If I do the same thing and I run it, 210 is coming because I have to leave a line plus BR. Okay, 2 and 10. So over here x value is 2 and over here x value is 10. Now we are on, okay, read more about let in the chapter JavaScript let. So now we are on JavaScript constant. The constant keyword allows you to declare a constant, a JavaScript variable with a constant value. So what is a constant value? A constant value can never be changed. So if you declare a variable with using the constant keyword, for example, const x is equal to 10, then x will always remain 10. It cannot be changed. Okay, constants are similar to let variables except that the value cannot be changed. So as I said, so like constants also have a block scope. So like here x is equal to 2, here x is 10, and here x is 10. So I just showed you, so I don't need to show it again. Read more about const in chapter JavaScript const. Now we are on JavaScript arrow functions. So I'll just have a sip of water. Okay, arrow functions allows a short syntax for writing function expressions. So like arrow functions make your syntax very short. You don't need the function keyword, the return keyword, and the curly brackets. So you can omit these three things. The function keyword, don't need it in arrow functions. The return keyword also, you don't need. And the curly brackets also, you don't need. So like this is a normal function, ES5. This is a normal function and this is taking 3 lines. But this is the same function, but it is an arrow function, plus it is only taking 1 line. So it makes a syntax so short. 3 lines to 1 line. That is a big thing. So arrow functions do not have their own this. So this line means is that the arrow functions do, in arrow functions, the this keyword does not refer to the object that called the function. So I'll just repeat myself. In arrow functions, the this keyword does not refer to the object that called the method. They are not well suited for defining object methods. So I'll just tell you why they are not well suited for defining object methods. So you see, when we define an arrow function in an object, it does not refer to the object like that has made it. So for example, there is an object person and you declare an arrow function in it, and then in that you use this keyword. So it will not refer to the object that like called it. Basically, the person object calls this, right? Okay, so it does not refer to the person object. Else, it refers to, like, instead it refers to the window object. So it refers to the window object instead of referring to the person object. So they are not well suited for defining object methods. Arrow functions are also not hoisted. They are not hoisted. They must be defined before they are used. Using constant is safer than using var because a function expression is always a constant value. So like for example, you have a long code and you have given like var x is equals to a arrow function, okay? And you forget about the arrow function and you declare another variable somewhere and you give var x is equals to, like, for example, 0. So you redeclare the variable and it no longer remains, x no longer remains a function, okay? So and then you try to call it because you think it's still a function, and then it will give you an error because you change its value and like to 0, you change its value to 0, and you cannot call a numeric value like a function, right? So that's why it will give an error. Instead, if you use constant and forget that you have made a function x in a constant, then and you try to change it, like x is equals to like 2 or something, whatever, then it will give you an error because a constant value cannot be changed. Okay, so it is using constant is much more safer than using var. Okay, you can only omit the return keyword and the curly brackets if the function is a single statement. Because of this, it might be a good habit to always keep them. Okay, so you should always keep them, because you can only omit the return keyword and the curly bracket if the function has a single statement. Learn more about arrow functions in the chapter JavaScript arrow functions. So the for of loop. The JavaScript for of statement loops through the values of an iterable object. So like a normal for loop, like we do for variable I is equal to 0, I less than blah 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 and I plus plus. So in that it brings the index. Okay, so it is a number, so it is an index, right? It is like in the foreign loop. I hope you must be knowing the foreign for of loop. So in foreign loop, it brings an index, and in a normal loop also it brings index. But in a for of loop, it, for example, you have an array in which you have cars like BMW, Audi, okay, and you loop through them through the array using the for of loop. Then instead of accessing each value using the index in the for loop, you can the for of loop directly accesses the value. Okay, so like further below you will understand what I mean. For of lets you loop over data structures that are iterable, such as arrays, strings, maps, node lists, and more. The for of loop has the following syntax: for variable of iterable code block to be executed. Variable: for each iteration, the value of the next property is assigned to the variable. Variable can be declared with constant, let, or var. Iterable: an object that has iterable properties. Looping over an array where cars is equal to BMW, Volvo, Mini, and where x for x of cars, document.write x plus br. So what this is doing, you don't need to, like, it is not bringing the index, it is directly bringing the value of the element using for of. So if I did for in over here, it would have given the indexes 0, 1, 2. Okay, and if you wanted to access the car names using for name, for in, then we would have given like this, and then it would have come. Else we can just give for of that loops through the values. Same result. Okay, so for of is a like very important loop. So you can loop over strings also, like variable txt is equal to JavaScript variable x of txt, document.write x plus br. So JAVA, it is printing like this. So it is looping over every letter of the string. So learn more in the chapter JavaScript loop, for in and for of. So now JavaScript classes. I'll just have another sip of water. We are almost halfway through, as I can see in scroll. So JavaScript classes. JavaScript classes are templates for JavaScript objects. So JavaScript classes are templates for JavaScript objects. So for example, you make a class named cookie cutter, and using that cookie cutter, you make lots of cookies. Okay, so it is a template. The cookie cutter is a template to create the cookies, and the cookie cutter can be of any shape, and whatever shape will be of the cookie cutter, the cookie will also be made of that shape. Okay, so the cookie cutter is a template, right? So this is an example to make you explain. Like classes are templates, okay, for JavaScript objects. Using the keyword class, use the keyword class to create a class, okay. Always add a method named constructor. So like class name and constructor. So what does the constructor method do? It initialize all the properties in the class. It initializes all the properties in the class. Okay. Syntax, class name and constructor. Example, class car, constructor name, year, this dot name is equal to name and this dot year is equal to year. So this example above creates a class named car. The class has two initial properties, name and year. So like whenever you make an object, okay, of a class, then the constructor method automatically runs, and everything you give in the constructor method automatically are done. Okay, so constructor method are for initializing properties. So like over here we are initializing them, right? So class has two initial properties, name and year. A JavaScript class is not an object. It is a template for JavaScript objects. It is not an object, it is a template for JavaScript objects. Okay. Using a class. When you have a class, you can use the class to create objects. So like here we have a class this dot name this dot year. My car is equal to new car. So we are making an object of this car. Its name will be Ford and its year is 2014. So we are making a car and that is we are making an object of this class car and that is Ford 2014. Okay. Learn more about classes in the chapter JavaScript classes. Now we are on JavaScript promises. So we will skip JavaScript promises. We'll discuss about them later. Now we are on the symbol type. So this is a very new thing for all of us. The symbol type. So for more detail, so to go deep into symbol, I'll search on Google symbol type. So to go in more detail, I'll search in Google and this link. So we will read a bit about symbol type in this so that we have proper information about what is symbol type, how can we use it and all. I'll just have another sip of water. I don't know why I'm so thirsty. Okay, so by specification, object property keys may be either of string type or of symbol type. So the keys in an object may be of a string type or of symbol type. Not numbers, not booleans, only strings or symbols. These two types. Till now we have been using only strings. So I guess that till now we are only using strings. Now let's see the benefits that symbols can give us. Symbols also give us a lot of benefits. Okay, so let's see why do we use symbols, for what do we use symbols and all. Symbols. A symbol represents a unique identifier. A value of this type can be created using symbol. Okay, so ID is a new symbol. So we are creating a new symbol. Let ID is equal to symbol. So we are creating a new symbol. Upon creation, we can give symbol a description, also called a symbol name, mostly used for debugging purposes. So symbols also are mostly used for debugging purposes also. So like they're mostly used for debugging purposes, and the id that you give, sorry, the description that you give is used for debugging purposes. Like for example, you forget what, why have you made a key. Okay, so like for example, you make a key id and you forget why did you make it, then you can access its description, and in the description whatever you have written about the key, that will show you. Okay, so we will learn how to access descriptions. Symbols are guaranteed to be unique. Even if we create many symbols with the same description, they are different values. The description is just a label that doesn't affect anything. Okay? For instance, here are two symbols with the same description, but they are not equal. So we have created two symbols with the same description, but they are not equal. So as simple as that, that description is just a label. For debugging purposes, it does not affect anything. Okay. So if you are familiar with Ruby another language that also or another language that also has some sort of symbols, please don't be misguided. JavaScript symbols are different. Symbols don't auto convert. So most values in JavaScript support implicit conversion to a string. For example, we can allot almost any value and it will work. Symbols are special. They don't auto convert. For instance, this alert will show an error. This alert is showing an error, cannot convert a symbol value to a string. So there is no auto convert with symbol. That's a language guard against messing up, because are and fundam and sorry strings and symbols are fundamentally different and should not accidentally convert one into another. If we really want to show a symbol, so if you really want to show a symbol, we need to explicitly call toString. So I hope you know the toString method. So we have to call toString on it, like here. So like alert id.toString, so it will now show symbol. Okay. So symbols are very special. Or get symbol.description property to show the description only. Like if we give the symbol name is id, so id dot description, so it will show us the description. And we use symbol.description for debugging purposes, mostly for debugging purposes. Now we are on hidden properties. Symbols allow us to create hidden properties of an object that no other part of code can accidentally access or override. For instance, we are working with user objects that belong to a third party code. So for instance, we are working with the user objects that belong to third party code. We'd like to add identifiers to them. Let's use a symbol key for it. So like here we have a let user. So here's an object. It belongs to another code. Now we are doing let id is user symbol id. So we are creating a new symbol. Then we are doing user id is equals to 1. So what this is doing is, it is making a key id, okay, using this symbol. It is making a key of symbol type in the user object, okay, because like id is a symbol type and we are doing user id, so symbol type symbol. So you must have never seen such type of like defining properties, right? So you must have not seen such type of like adding keys to objects. We mostly do it like with dot notation, and with like if we do with it brackets, we give quotes over here. Okay, but in symbol we make a symbol first and then we don't need to give quotes. We give bracket and we don't give quotes. Okay, and equals to 1. So what this does is this makes a symbol type key value pair. So there's a symbol type key and its value will be 1. So the key will be ID and its type would be symbol, but its value would be 1, and one's type is like number only. So if we do allowed user ID, we can access the data using the symbol as the key. Okay, so we can access the data using the symbol as a key. What's the benefit of using symbol ID over a string ID? So basically, what is the benefit of using symbol ID over a string ID? So as user objects belong to another code and that code also works with them, we shouldn't just add any fields to it. That's unsafe, but a symbol cannot be accessed accidentally. The third party code probably won't even see it. So the third party code probably won't even see it. So it's probably alright to do. Also imagine that another script wants to have its own identifier inside user for its own purposes. That may be another JavaScript library so that the scripts are completely unaware of each other. Then that script can create its own symbol ID like this. So it can create its own symbol ID like this. There will be no conflict between our and their identifiers because symbols are always different. So they are always unique. So even if they have the same name, if the symbols have the same name, then also they will remain unique because symbols are always unique. But if we use the string ID instead of a symbol for the same purpose, then there would be a conflict. So let user name John, user.id, our ID value, our script use ID property, and another script also wants ID for its purposes, user.id, their ID value, boom, overwritten by another script. So ID is overwritten now with another script. Okay, so symbols are very useful. Symbols in an object literal. If we want to use a symbol in an object literal, we can use square brackets around it like this. So if we want to make a symbol type key in an object, here's another method to make it. So like over here we do let id symbol id, make a symbol variable, and in brackets give id in the object and its value, whatever you want to give, and this is also a symbol type key. That's because we need the value from the variable id as the key, not the string id. That's because we need the value from the variable id. We need the value from the variable id. Then only it will become symbol type, not the string id. If we didn't give these brackets, then it would have been a string id. It would have not been a symbol id. Okay. Symbols are stripped by foreign. Symbolic properties do not participate in for in loop. So they don't participate in for in loop. For instance, let id symbol id, let user. Okay, so we are giving a symbol id over here, and we are going for let key in user, allowed key, and then the direct access by symbol works. So if we directly access the symbol, then it works. But in the for loop, it does not work. So this is for loop. For loop is working. Okay, age, and this is direct. So this is direct access working. If it was working in for loop, then id would have also come. But in for loop, it does not come. It does not participate in for loop. Object.keys user also ignores them. That's a part of general hiding symbolic properties principle. In another script or a library loops over our object, it won't unexpectedly access a symbolic property. In contrast, object.assign copies both string and symbol properties. So what in object.assign, like if we make a variable clone, okay, and we are copying an object, then it will copy the symbol property. Okay, object.assign copies the symbol property as well as the string properties. Okay, in a clone. So like object.assign copies both string and symbol properties. So if I do this, 1 2 3 is coming. Okay, so we can directly access it. Okay, so now I want to show you one thing. W3 schools has done an error. This is not a symbol type key, it is a string type because he is not using brackets. Okay, so like he has to use brackets, person.id, but like if he uses brackets and he gives it in string, okay, then it is the same as dot. It is same as dot notation like this, but this is not same, and here W3 schools had done an error. So this is coming undefined because there is no person.id. So like if I do the foreign, I'll just show you how he did an error just for more confirmation. Like here it's a real example, and I'll just copy the foreign loop. Okay, sorry, and if I just do, I don't need this. Okay, so we know that symbol properties don't participate in foreign loops. So let's see if they participate now. Oh, sorry, in person. First name, okay, last name, age, eye color, and then ID is also coming. So this is a wrong example because symbol properties don't participate in foreign loops. And now if I do, instead of dot, if I do this, then let's see, first name, last name, age, eye color, and nothing else. So it is not participated in the foreign loop, so it shows that it is symbol property. It's cool, man. So we have completed symbol. Symbols are always unique. If you create two symbols with the same description, they will have different values, that we know. Now we are on default parameter values. So ES6 allows function parameters to have default values. Example, my function x, y is equal to 10. So like y is 10 if not passed or undefined. So if the user passes undefined in or like y or does not pass anything for in the y place, then its default value will be 10. Okay, so this will return 15 because we are not passing anything, and its default value is 10, and x plus y, 10 plus 5 is 15. Function rest parameter. The rest parameter allows a function to treat an indefinite number of arguments as an array. So like using the rest parameter, you can have indefinite number of arguments as an array. So like here we have function sum, and we can now have indefinite parameters. Like let sum is equal to 0, for let arg of args, sum plus equals to arg, return sum, and let x is equal to sum, and we are giving so many values, and so it will add all these values and give us 326. So the result is 326. Let's see, 100 plus 77 is 177 plus like let's do like this, 4 plus 9 13 plus 16 29. 29 plus 25, 50, 50, just a second, okay, 54. 54 plus 29, 64, 74, 83. 83 plus 100, 183. 183 plus 66, 183 plus 66 is 189, 199, 209, 219, 229, 239, 249. So is it 249? I think so. Okay, 249 plus 77 is 326. 209. Okay. So 326 is coming. So now we are on array.find. The find method returns the value of the first array element that passes a test function. This example finds the first element that is greater than 18. So like variable numbers, variable first is equal to number dot find my function. In my function we are doing return value is greater than 18. So let's see, it will return 25 because this is the first value that is greater than 18. So let's try it. Yeah. Let's see. Note that the function takes three arguments: the item value, the item index, and the array itself. In the array, we can omit these both because we are not using them in the method, and it will run fine. Okay, value is greater than 18. Okay, 25 is the first value that is greater than 18. Array.find index. The find index method returns the index of the first array element that passes the test function. This example finds the index of the first element that is larger than 18. So index 3. So this method, so if we omit these two, then also it is fine. So this method finds the index of the first element that is greater than 18. That is at index 3 because 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and 25 is greater than 18. Note that the function takes three arguments: the item value, the item index, and the array itself. Okay, I told you what are these before. Let me tell you once again. The item value gives us the value, the item index gives us the index, and the array itself gives the whole array. So new number properties. ES6 added the following properties to number object: epsilon, min safe integer, and max safe integer. So those of you who don't know what is epsilon, epsilon is the closest number to 0. So for example, so this is the epsilon example. So this is the epsilon in JavaScript. Okay, so this can also be written as 0.15 zeros and then this number. So this can also be written as, I'll just comment it over here. Sorry, to comment it in the script. It can be also written as 0.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then this number. Okay, so this is the epsilon in JavaScript. Epsilon, I repeat myself once again, epsilon is the closest number to 0. And this is the closest number to 0 in JavaScript. Now we have min safe integer. So the minimum safest integer. It is minus 90071992547409991. So this is the minimum safest integer. So like, yeah. So this is like, this integer is 2 So this is the minimum safe integer. So like, I don't know why I was saying that 2 thing. I don't know why. sorry. So variable max safe integer. So this is the max safe integer. 9007, the same one, but it is like, it is not minus. There is a minus sign over here, and in max safe integer there is no minus sign. It is a positive integer. That's why it is max. New number methods. ES6 added 2 new methods to the number object. Number.isInteger and number.isSafeInteger. Number.isInteger method. The number.isInteger method returns true if the argument is an integer. Okay. So if an argument is an integer, I'll just close this also. The number.isSafeInteger method. The safe integer is an integer that can be exactly represented as double precision number. The number.isSafeInteger method returns true if the argument is a safe integer. Okay. So safe integers are all integers from minus 2 to the power 53 minus 1 to plus positive 2 to the power 53 minus 1. So that's what I was trying to explain you, that I said 2 first. Okay. So safe integers are all integers from minus 2 to the power 53 minus 1 till plus 2 to the power 53 minus 1. This is safe. 907 1992547409991. But this is not safe. If I add one number also, it is not safe. New global, like this is over here it is 2 and over here there is 1. There is no difference. And like this is not safe because a number greater than this is not safe. New global methods. ES6 added 2 new global methods. These were number methods. Now we are on global methods. Is finite and is nan. So the global is finite method returns false if the argument is infinity or nan. Otherwise it returns true. Okay? Infinity or nan. If a value is infinite, if the argument is infinity or nan, then it will return false, else it will return true. So mostly is finite method will return true. Mostly. Otherwise it returns true. So like 10 divided by 0, it will return false because 10 divided by 0 is not possible. And 10 divided by 1, it will return true. So is nan method. The global is that method returns if the argument is nan. So I'll just plug my Mac just in a second. Yeah, it is plugged. So the global is nan method returns true if the argument is nan. Otherwise it returns false. So is nan hello, true. What's this? Yeah. Is nan hello? It will give us true because it is not a number. Hello is not a number. And is nan 10? It will give us false, though it is in quotes, but it auto converts. So is nan 10? It is false because 10 is a number. Okay, and the chapter is done. So thank you guys. If you like the video, don't forget to smash the like button and share this video with as many people as you can. And if you're not subscribed to my channel yet, do it and press the notification bell too, so that you don't miss any of my videos. Thank you guys. Bye. Stay safe, stay healthy, and do keep watching my videos. Bye. Dab.